right, Michelle.
Hey, baby.
Girl, we've got a great guest today. We got Aubrey Plaza is on the show. Aubrey Plaza.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. What a funny lady.
You know, wasn't really familiar. And then my daughter, Lola, my 14-year-old, is obsessed with Parks and Rec.
Why do you think that is?
Lola is, I can't answer it, but she loved The Office, which lends to Parks and Rec because it's the same way that it's shot,
sort
the
of
one
dry
camera.
humor, sort of. Yeah,
and Amy
I love those
Poehler's
shows
a
too.
Genius. But Lola has a really twisted, dry sense of humor. We might have talked about it on What's the Tea before, where a lot of times she gets upset and cries even that her friends don't understand her humor or they think she's stupid. She is so funny, I can't even put it into words. But kids don't understand that humor normally.
Yeah, I guess it's because she's around, she's around normal kids, I guess. I'm just trying to bring myself back to when I was 14.
14-year-olds don't have a sarcastic, dry, biting sense of humor. I did.
But see, I was always
Lola
around
does.
stoners, though.
Right.
That was the thing. So we had Cheech and Chong, we had Mel Brooks movies. So I was always around people who got that part of it.
They don't have that now. The Office and Parks and Rec and things like that are going to be that. Aziz Ansari, anything he does, it's just...
How do you say his name?
Aziz Ansari?
I've never been able to say it.
I just helped you.
Aziz Ansari.
Yeah.
Why do I have so much trouble with so many syllables?
It's you've always had issues with the syllables.
Aziz Ansari.
Aziz Ansari.
You going to spill that drink
God bless
right there?
you. No, I'm putting it down because I'm wearing white and it's orange because it's carrot.
Yeah.
But anyway, I don't have an answer as to why she likes it. I can only assume she grew up around it. Like you grew up around certain things, so you ended up, it's familiarity.
Yeah, but
it?
see, I was also attracted to irreverence. I was always attracted to things that sort of supported my worldview. And my worldview was none of this is real. This is all a facade. And anytime someone would make fun of society, like Monty Python or Mel Brooks, I was in. I was like, yes.
I agree.
So, but Parks and Recreation is more of like this. It's a sitcom that is shot like a reality show, documentary style, and it's dry humor. You know what kills Bewitched today is that Bewitched, the TV show, has that laugh track.
Yeah.
And I love that Parks and Recreation and the other show you mentioned
lets it fall flat.
And
that's the beauty.
It's the beauty of it.
That's the genius of it. That's what I love about British television because I feel like you said with Monty Python and everything, they were the first ones to do that. It's very British sense of humor.
Yeah.
All that dry stuff, The Office originated with Ricky Gervais over there.
Yeah, but see, also Monty Python was also part of the counterculture. It was sort of, it came from the sort of 60s mentality that the status quo was meant to be made fun of. And they went to a different level. I mean, there's always been comics and Bugs Bunny and people who made fun of society.
Yes.
But the Monty Python storyline had to do with making fun of it from a 60s counterculture mentality.
Yes, which is why it was so irreverent back then, which is why if you saw it, it was like, oh my God, did you ever see XYZ?
Right.
Holy Grail and the Life of Brian, all these, great movies, which I never got into at all as a kid. Now, my father and my brother loved them. My father loved Benny Hill, all that stuff, that kind of made fun of what a joke we were as a society.
Yeah.
And I never got it until I was older.
You didn't smoke weed when you were a kid?
Never.
And
I told you the last time I got high, I ended up eating almost a dozen Boston cream donuts. And as an anorexic and a bulimic, it wasn't the tea.
Yeah.
I was like, this is not going to work for me. This is really unhealthy. And I went to the park and bought a dime bag myself. Never even having smoked. I was like, I'll pick up the weed for tonight. My friend Tim that I went to college with, right by, there was this little park, little section of, not even a park, it was like a patch of grass that you could get grass right by 70th. Where it crosses over Amsterdam and Columbus, right there, 72nd maybe.
Yeah.
And there was a little patch of grass, and I knew that this guy always sold there. So I went, me, who didn't even smoke and got a dime bag, and realized at that point, this is just not working for me. I just don't want to sit here. I become useless. I was talking to Adore about this, who loves to smoke weed, is open about it, Jinx as well. And they said that there's different kinds of weeds. They said to smoke the sativa.
Kush?
Sativa. Is that right?
I don't
Am I
know.
saying it wrong because it sounds like a TV network? They said to smoke the sativa.
I think that's an antidepressant.
I should look it up.
Sativa.
They said to smoke that, and that makes you more creative.
Yeah.
Where the other one like indica, or something like that makes you more tired and like stonery. Where sativa says that's the one that makes them feel creative.
Right.
But for me, maybe I just had hash and crap skunk weed growing up in New Jersey. I think I've gotten high maybe 5 times in my life, and I became useless and giddy and stupid, and I didn't get any joy out of it.
Right.
So that's why I never smoked.
Well,
did you get creative juice out of it?
I did. I had a great time. I smoked for 30 years. I haven't smoked in 17 years, but the last 10 years of it was not a lot of fun because it was really maintaining. And plus,
it was habit.
Yeah, it was a habit. Yeah. And I also, I had a career, I had things to do. And for me to try to blow off some steam by getting high, it just was not I wasn't working. And I had done it. Mm-hmm. Started smoking when I was 10 years old. And back then, it was usually just Mexican weed with lots of seeds in it. And it wasn't very good. But
seeds mean no good, right?
Don't give me the line.
Okay.
But the thing is this, the last 10 years of my pot smoking.
I was in your life at that point.
You were in my life at that point, and it was, I was working a lot, and they had genetically engineered the weed at that point to where it was like taking a hit of acid. It was so strong. And I'm sure today it's even stronger than when I quit. But
stronger than yesterday?
Stronger than yesterday, Brittany. And so the thing is, I would get paranoid and I would get depressed. And
But isn't paranoia part of smoking weed?
I guess so. Unless depends on how strong you are. Depending on how strong you are at talking yourself off the proverbial ladder, because it's a part of it. But if you could laugh enough, the thing is, it's a depressant too. And
you didn't need help with that.
I have with Nita. Contrary to what most people think about me, I have a proclivity toward the darkness,
right,
and toward depression.
Right.
I work on it all the time.
Did you ever have to take medications for depression?
No, I never did. And that's the problem with smoking weed is that if you're a depressant or if you're a depressing person, how do you say it?
If you're a depressed person,
yes,
a person with depression,
yes. You don't need to smoke weed.
The funny thing is, Lily was bringing it up how all of her friends, she's a 16-year-old one with depression, and she's the one who was talking about all of her friends smoking weed. And I said, please don't tell me you've ever tried it. She's like, no, I really have no want to smoke anything. And I said, when you're in college and you feel like the time is right and you want to try, I recommended an edible. And believe it or not, I talked to Lagancia about this. And she said, okay, but it really matters on what it is because the edibles are so much stronger than smoking weed. But I said, if she, in college took a little corner of a brownie, at least to experience it for the first time, I feel like it won't be. She's an athlete, so she doesn't want smoke in her body.
Athlete.
She is an athlete, and she doesn't want the smoke inside her lungs. It's not going to help her in any way. Right. So, there comes that discussion, and then all the benefits. But the point is, the last thing I said to her is, you have depression, you do not need to be getting high at any point right now.
Well, what are the benefits? For me, the benefits are
with anxiety. I understand.
Well, that's neither here. I wasn't smoking for that. I was smoking because I thought the world sucked, and it's like, you know what? Wake me when it's over. That's
Lily's attitude.
If I can just laugh at you all for the rest of my life, I would be happy.
Right.
If I could just get a little something to say, F you, society. Right on. But that didn't work for me, once I really started my career in a way. It started my career in a way that was, really making money.
You quit drinking before you quit smoking.
I did.
What was it that made you, I know why you quit drinking, because you had an issue. Everybody does that, usually gets to that point. Mm-hmm. But when you quit smoking, what made you then go, okay, I've conquered this. Now I have to do this.
Well, this is how it went. First of all, when I met George, I met George on a Tuesday, and by the following Tuesday, we were together. Met him in New York.
Right.
The following Tuesday, we were together in London.
Right, and you met up in the club.
I met him up in the club. A week later, flew him. We both flew to London.
You had a gig or Suzanne Barge?
I was working. I was co-hosting the Brit Awards with Elton John the next week.
So the record was out already?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And so we were staying at the Health.
Right, because it's been 20 years?
Or for George and I? 22.
Because David and I are 20 years. So that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I stayed at the same hotel room that I always stayed at the Halcyon in Holland Park in
I
London.
love Holland Park.
The Halcyon's no longer there, but
What about
stayed
the
in my
drug? Is the drug Halcyon still there?
yeah, but sure it is.
Yeah.
Stayed in the same room that I always stayed in.
How did you get the same room? Did you ask for it?
Yeah. So the last time I was there, I hid some hash and some weed in the ceiling.
Okay, stop a minute. Stop.
Okay.
Stop.
All right.
When was the last time you were there before that?
Maybe 2 weeks.
Oh, you had been there. Okay, I was
Yeah.
like thinking years. All right, go ahead.
Yeah.
Like that should be stale.
Right. So I went up into the roof.
So you pushed like the tile.
Yes.
You put it up there.
Not tile, but that foamy.
Yeah, that's a foamy tile thing.
Whatever that is.
You know, like you have in school where you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
You
Lifted
were
that up.
crafty.
Oh yeah. Well, you have to be.
You was a crafty
Because
bitch.
first of all, to find it in London and find a connection, because I couldn't bring it with me,
and
right?
you didn't have a connection.
Yeah. So
Right.
when you find something, you say, well, I'm going to leave this shit here.
Right.
So I left it. And so to impress him, so I went in the ceiling, got it out, and he didn't smoke. So I smoked it. And then I remember feeling so weird, so self-conscious around him that I thought, you know what? I can't smoke anymore.
So you quit because you were worried about what George.
It
No,
felt,
that doesn't make sense because you and I worked in Radio 96. You was still smoking.
yeah, well, I said I quit.
Oh.
That didn't mean I didn't start up again.
Quit means to not start.
No.
You mean you had stopped.
I
You
had
had
stopped.
taken a break.
I
You had taken a break.
No.
That ain't what quit means.
I didn't stop smoking weed until it was August of 1999.
That sounds right.
August of 99 is when I quit smoking weed and quit doing all drugs, all alcohol, quit everything. But
what made you do that?
well, without talking out of school, things had just come to a crossroads.
Got
Let's
it.
just leave it at that.
Okay.
It had come to a crossroads, and it was
It was time.
it was no longer an option. And then, but the years before that, like when I quit doing nightclubs in 1991, I quit doing chemicals and drinking for the most part.
Did you stay out of the nightclubs in accordance to being clean and sober?
No, I said out of nightclubs because I needed to have a clear head to make a demo tape so that I could send it to a record company and get a record deal.
Okay.
So I had to stay out of there. And also all my old friends, we were stoners, we were party people. And I had to focus on my career because if you remember, my motivation was that in my mind, delight was behind me in queue for success. So when they all of a sudden jumped ahead of me and
With
had a
Grooves in the Heart.
worldwide success with Groovers in the Heart, I thought, wait a minute,
We're not.
what happened?
Yeah.
And so I said, oh, I have to get my stuff together right now and, reclaim my place in line for success. So I quit doing nightclubs. I was living on popcorn and seltzer water from the Film Forum movie theater where my friend worked. And eventually it did happen. I actually got a demo tape together and sent it to every record company. And Tommy Boy, which was Warner Brothers, came back and said, yeah, we want you. And that's how Supermodel was born. But then as I started working and working after Supermodel, I'd smoke a little weed. I didn't do chemicals anymore because all of my 20s, I was doing
Chemically induced.
I was chemically induced.
Yes.
I would take about 5 hits of acid every weekend from the
5?
time I was 21 till the time I was like 29, something like that.
Wow.
Yeah. So, because it was cheap. It was
Acid's cheap.
Acid back then was $5 a tab. So that.
Did you ever get a bad acid hit?
Nope. Never did. Never freaked out. It was always fabulous.
I almost regret not trying stuff back in my younger days. I would never do it now.
Yeah.
I almost regret, like the only thing I ever did, I told you, was my one incident with speed, which wasn't supposed to happen. And then the smoked pot. That's it. That's the only thing I've ever done.
What was the speed storyline?
So it was.
Is this anal? Is this an anal
I wish
story?
it was exciting. I was in high school.
You took it orally.
I took it orally. I took a Black Beauty. This girl was selling them. I think bought it for like $1 in the bathroom.
$1?
Yeah, it was not expensive. It was a pill. It was called Black Beauty, so I took it. And I was there for the SAT, that day that I bought it from her. And I remember the whole time just looking at this paper where you're supposed to, you fill in the dots with the answers.
Yeah.
I was just making butterflies out of the dots. I was like, oh, these butterflies.
Yeah.
And I totally failed. And then my mother, I never told them what happened, but they made me get a tutor and I wasn't allowed to do anything. I couldn't go anywhere until and I did great on the next SAT. But the point is, it didn't help me focus. Like, it made me nuts, like in the sense that nothing was computing. I couldn't focus.
Yeah.
It did the opposite. I was maybe hyper-focused on the wrong things. Like, I can't even understand.
I think you should probably not taking it orally is probably the...
I should have taken it anally.
Yeah.
I should have asked for the anal option.
Yeah.
But Sue, the girl who sold it to me, didn't offer me an anal option.
Yeah.
I might have taken it back then.
Yeah.
But no, that was my one and only, go-round with drugs. Like cocaine, the idea of putting something up my nose. When I had a baby, I didn't worry about changing the diapers. I worried about changing the nose, like blowing the nose and sucking. Boogers freak me out.
Uh-huh.
So the thought of anything going in my nose, never going to happen.
Right.
Back then I did smoke cigarettes, so maybe I might have smoked something if it was offered.
Yeah.
But where I grew up in South Plainfield, New Jersey, nobody was smoking crack or smack or glass or anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I might have tried it. I don't know, but it was not there.
Yeah, there's a certain type of person who would do it, though. I
was always scared.
I never freaked out. I think what happens, especially when you do acid, is that you get to see, you break the fourth wall and you get to see a different reality that is coexisting with the one that you know. And that usually freaks people out. But see, I always grew up knowing there was a quasi world, a different reality.
It sounds romantic. It doesn't sound scary or freaky outy. To me, that's the lure, the seduction of seeing this other world.
Yeah.
Of those who live within us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And walk the same walk.
Yeah, you're intellectualizing, but emotionally, a lot of people can't see it because it would put a crack in your belief system. This belief system, you've based your whole life on this belief system that now you realize is just a facade.
Right.
And then it rocks your world. That's when people freak out on acid. That is what is happening.
The worlds are getting rocked.
The world is getting rocked.
Yeah.
Exactly. And they're seeing this other thing, it's crazy.
I'm too neurotic.
Yeah,
I think
that's probably what. Yeah.
At the end of the day, I'm too neurotic, and the thought of taking a drug would have freaked me the fuck out. My mother, I'm too neurotic, and that's why I never did it. And trust me, plenty of drugs. When I was in seduction and touring, the drugs were in front of my face on trays.
Yeah.
And I just never had an interest.
Yeah.
I wanted too much to succeed. And nothing was going to stop me from it. So I thought drugs would throw me off course.
Yeah, well, I feel that way too. Yesterday, a day before yesterday, I said, I'm not going to take my antihistamine. I'm going to see what it's like.
Oh, right. Your generic.
My generic antihistamine. I didn't take it yesterday, and I didn't take it the day before.
Because is it allergy season right now?
I don't know. It's always allergy season as far as I'm concerned.
Okay.
Well, yesterday I was in the studio recording and working, and it felt so my heart started beating really fast. And
because you took it or didn't take it?
I didn't take it.
Well, that sounds to me like an addiction.
I'm sure it is an addiction. I take it every day. I took it this morning.
Oh, my goodness.
But without taking it, there was this heaviness in my sinuses. I could feel this weird thing. So, I thought, I won't take it those last 2 days just to see what effect it actually has on me.
Could it be a food allergy?
No, it ain't no damn food allergy.
How do you know it's no fit?
Because it's in my damn sinuses.
Oh, honey, are you that naive to think that your sinuses are not connected to everything else in your body?
Yes and yes. We're going to take a quick break,
okay.
But and a little bit later we got Aubrey Plaza popping up, so you guys stay with us.
Squarespace.
Yeah. This episode is brought to you by Squarespace. Making a website has never been easier.
Never.
You can make a gorgeous website in minutes using their beautiful templates and simplistic drag and drop platforms.
Drag and death drop.
I love it. Hey, when you're ready to purchase a plan, get 10% off with the offer code RU.
What's that offer code?
That's squarespace.com, offer code RU. Hey, we are back. We got Aubrey Plaza coming up in just a few minutes.
I love her.
We were just talking about
addiction.
Addiction, as one does. I will tell you this. I have no desire to get high or drunk or any of that.
Do you miss I tell you what I do miss, and I'd never go back, but I can say what I miss. I do miss smoking cigarettes in the sense that I hated the way it smelled. I hate what it did, and the way you cough and everything. And they're so expensive. Do you know how much cigarettes are now?
I'm going to guess out here in California, it's different from New York.
Right.
I'm going to guess here, $9 a pack?
Something like that.
Yeah.
And in London, it ends up being like, I don't know, $20 a pack. Like,
You're kidding
No, I'm not
me.
kidding. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And if anything, you could have saved so much money. My girlfriend quit smoking a year ago and has saved 3,000 something pounds. So that's like almost $5,000.
Oh my
in
goodness.
1 year.
Wow.
But the point is, I did like the social.
Well, there's a romanticism around it.
The social thing with smoking, having the cup of coffee, having the cigarette in my hand, talking, and then,
Yeah.
but then thinking about the addiction that I had where it would be 10 below zero. I'd be wearing no clothes and I would still stand outside to smoke my cigarette.
Yeah.
And how disgusting it was. But I quit 20 something years ago, but I still do miss the physicality of it.
Sure.
You know?
Well, I'm always surprised when I see people smoking.
Today,
you say, even in New York, a lot of people still smoking.
In New York?
Yeah.
Really?
It's still so expensive.
Yeah, so expensive. And you can't smoke in anywhere anymore.
You can't smoke anywhere. But this is the thing, the first time you take a puff of a cigarette, your body says, "Oh, hell no.
You better believe
this
it.
is not good.
No, get it out.
Get it out of me."
Yeah.
But what's interesting is what part of our brain or of our will even pushes past that.
What is that?
What is that? I think it's a death wish. I think it's an innate death wish. We're talking about loving the show Westworld. I love that show. And it really explores existentialism, and it explores the idea of wanting to push ourselves to the limit and push ourselves to our worst selves, understanding what our darkness is, how our darkness operates.
Yeah.
And I think that smoking cigarettes is almost sort of it's a thumbing your nose up at your own mortality. It's like saying, I know this is going to kill me, and it's not good for me, but I'm going to do it anyway.
My mother died from it.
From
my
cancer.
biological mother died this year,
Right.
a couple months ago.
And she smoked throughout.
She quit. Quitting, when people say, "Oh, I quit and then I started again." No, you didn't quit. Quit means to never start again.
Right.
You stopped and started again. And I tease about it, but it's the truth. She stopped and started so many times since she's been in my life. And I met her when I was 25, right? And she died when I was 47. So I knew her all those years, and she had always smoked. And here's the irony. And I wonder if some kind of bigger picture, but I met her months after I quit smoking. I don't know if that was some kind of something. She smoked through my pregnancy, when she was pregnant with me. That's what they did. Like I said, I'm watching Mad Men right now, like I'm towards the end. And the best part of that is the ridiculousness of what was real.
Yeah.
With all the pregnant women coming together at the doctors and like, come on, let's go have a cigarette and a glass of wine. Like they poke fun at it, but it was real.
Yeah.
It's really what happened. And watching her suffer the way she did for 5 years with it, and then as it progressed with the oxygen, and then what they could do and what they couldn't do, and her having to drag around an iron lung. And she came to see me at the Bots in Knoxville, Tennessee, because she lived in Murfreesboro, and seeing her just not being able to stand so long, and she was in okay shape there. She quit when she was diagnosed with lung cancer. She quit and never went back. So she lived 4 or 5 years without smoking a cigarette. But she had lungs collapse. She was constantly in and out because of her cigarette smoking.
Yeah, but you have to also understand that all addiction is a symptom of a much bigger problem. And I know that for myself with cigarette smoking, I needed to put a wall around myself. I needed a sanctioned moment when I can say, you know what, I need to get away and excuse myself.
Right.
But what's interesting about that, and that's healthy. But could you imagine being able to do that without the cigarettes? Like saying, I'm going to go downstairs for a minute and have a breather and actually do some controlled breathing and just a mindful, controlled breathing to sort of clear your head.
Because that's when you have a breather, actually breathe.
Actually have a breather.
That's a great idea.
It's a great idea.
Yeah.
So in that regard, it's actually kind of healthy to be able to do that. But I also realized that when I quit smoking, it had very little to do with the nicotine addiction. It had more to do with the addiction to sort of parlaying or deferring my feelings, deferring the process that I needed to do.
I think it always was that, especially with cigarettes. I don't know about drugs and alcohol. I can't speak on that because I've never drank or did drugs. But for me, the cigarette was always, if I was hungry, have a cigarette. If I was upset, have a cigarette. So instead of talking it out, immediately you go for the cigarette.
Right.
It's absolutely true. So it's anxiety, it's depression, it's happiness, it's excitement. You name it, it's going to be solved in that moment with a cigarette. Yeah. And I started smoking. June and Jill were these twins that we grew up with.
Were they sluts?
They were not sluts. They were badasses. One's a lesbian and one's heterosexual, and they were both badasses. Everybody was scared of them. Great athletes.
Who would play them? Marie and Sherry Curry?
No.
The Olsen?
Christy McNichol would play. Jill, for sure.
Yeah.
And her twin would be playing June. But the point is, Jill always had my back. She's the one. I wrote a chapter in my book that didn't get in because they thought it really wasn't necessary. But there was a girl that I had been molested by in my youth. And when I didn't tell anybody, didn't tell my mother. And when I told Jill climbed in her second story house and beat the shit out of her in her bed. And I guess the Chronicle Books was like, that's a bit too heavy for your book. But the point is, the chapter was about always have somebody that's willing to kick somebody's ass in the middle of the night for you. Yeah. And if you're lucky enough to have it, then you are lucky. But Jill was also controlling in a sense that she made me smoke. She was like, I will kick your ass if you don't inhale this cigarette. So that's how I started smoking.
What
because
brand
of Jill.
was it?
Virginia Slim Menthol Lights.
Hello.
What does everybody start
Hey.
with? So then I started stealing money and going to the liquor store where I'd go, my mother, what's that? My mother smokes what? Oh, Virginia Slim Menthol Lights. Can I have? So I'd lie. And then after a while, they knew my mother.
Yeah.
They were like, your mother doesn't smoke. So I'd have to have people getting them for me. Then I switched to Parliament.
Your adopted mother doesn't smoke.
Arlene. Then I have to clear that up. Thank you. I'd have to I'd go in and switch to Parliament. Then for Parliament, I went to Newport, and then I did grow up in Plainfield.
Yeah, I'll meet you over at the BET Awards.
What up? And then I ended up with Marlboro Light 100s, and that was my cigarette of choice to the day I stopped smoking. And it was the hardest thing I ever did. But
so now, are you like me where you realize that it was stuffing feelings?
100%.
What do you do with those feelings now? How do you process those same feelings that would frustrate you and drive you to Virginia Slim Light?
Menthol Light.
What do you do with those feelings now?
Well, it depends where I am structurally. Like if I'm mentally sound, I'm able to talk it out with my husband or you or a friend or a therapist or get on the elliptical or the treadmill, go for a run, work out. If I'm not in a good place, sometimes I'll eat my feelings, which is terrible.
Dear.
Yeah. But, we all go through it. I don't get upset and go, I need ice cream. It's not like that. But it's like I'm doing a little bit more in the pantry than I should be doing. Do you know what I mean? So the difference is now I go, oh, Why are you doing this?
That's it. That's it. Right there.
Why are you doing
that? It. Yeah, that's what I do. I will say, Rue, what's going on?
Yes.
And I go, oh, right. I'm frustrated because trying to add this application to my computer
makes me want to eat a pie.
Makes me want to shut my feelings down because I'm so frustrated right now. And that would be the time when I would have grabbed a cigarette.
Right.
And I would, at the end of the day, if I started the morning with a new pack, I would have about 4 left.
Me too. I was about 3/4 of a pack a day. You too.
Yeah. But if I were working on the computer or if I was going through some I could get through a pack and a half.
If I was at the club, I'd have to bring an extra pack.
You mean up in the club?
If I was up in the club, I'd have to bring an extra pack because I'd be sharing cigarettes, bumming cigarettes, giving cigarettes. That's just the way that it was. But back then, I remember the pack going up to $3.35, and I was like, "Oh my God, are you in? I'm done. This is way too expensive. What is wrong with you?"
Well, my mother smoked Tareyton, and I'd rather fight than switch. Was that right? Yeah. I'd rather fight than switch. That was the slogan.
Was that their tagline?
Yeah.
My friend Robin.
Remember, because they had the black eye. You had the black eye.
Oh, that's right. I'd rather fight than switch.
Switch, yeah.
My friend Robin's father. So if you had to bum, you could always take your mother's Tareyton.
Oh, yeah.
And I would take Robin's father's Viceroys.
Oh, I loved Viceroys.
Ew!
Yeah. You know what Viceroys are? I've said this before.
Camel with a filter?
No. Viceroys are cool cigarettes without the menthol.
Oh.
Same company.
Strong.
Same company as Cool.
Girl.
But no menthol.
Strong.
I smoked those for about 2 years.
Viceroys. They taste like cardboard.
No, they don't. They're delicious.
No, I didn't like them.
I'm
a
love
Marlboro
them.
girl.
What I really hated, though, were but that didn't stop me from smoking them, was I hated how Marlboro Lights and Parliaments had that white filter where it would tear off a piece of your lip if you put the white.
If your lip was dry, it would.
If your lip was dry, you smoke it, put it away.
You think there's a difference between the white filter and the brown filter?
Of course there is.
What's the difference?
Well, the white filter will tear off a piece of your skin.
I never had my skin torn off.
Really?
And I smoked Marlboro Light 100s for years. And Parliament.
That's because you always had lip gloss. You always had Bonnie Bell
that's
lip
true.
gloss.
That's true. You got a point.
Yeah, and that's why.
You just solved the mystery.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Jessica Fletcher, this house is clean.
Jessica Felcher, this house is clean. Yeah. And I would share the cigarettes and all sorts of lip gloss all over in the girls' bathroom.
Oh my God, mono is the best diet I
so
ever had.
great.
Yeah. Well, when we come back, we're going to have Aubrey Plaza.
No idea how we got on that topic, but that's the story of our lives.
Well, that's it, isn't it? Well, you guys, we're going to take a little break, and then when we come back, we got Aubrey Plaza. Oh my goodness, Blue Apron has revolutionized the family dinner.
Changed my life.
Really has, right?
100% changed my life because it gets delivered to your door in a box. Everything is recyclable. Okay, so you don't have to think you're being wasteful. It all be recycled. And the good thing about it is, when I'm away, my husband's the mom.
Really?
He's got to cook for the girls.
Is he a good cook?
He is a terrible cook. But with Blue Apron, you can't mess it up. That's the good thing about it. So everything comes step-by-step instructions, literally. Like it's lich. It even says wash the produce before. Like it tells you every single thing to do.
So fresh food delivered to your house.
Yes.
So delicious.
So delicious. You have to make the meal, but that's the fun. My daughters like to cook with him, cook with me. And you also, what it does is it gives you the recipe that after that they send you the ingredients with the recipe card, everything is there.
So you could reuse the recipe.
You could reuse the recipe card.
I love that.
So if it's a meal that they particularly loved, he puts it in the recipe box. And that way you can go buy the stuff if you want to do that specific recipe again.
Blue Apron is really the ticket.
Less than $10 a meal, you guys.
You're kidding me, right?
Less than $10 a meal. You're feeding a family of 4.
For less than $10
Less than $10 a meal.
When you count in all the gas money it takes to go drive to a restaurant.
You can't do a meal for less than $10.
It's amazing.
And this is a family of 4. We get it 3 times a week. It's unbelievable. You can customize your recipes. It's so worth it. You can check out this week's menu. Get your first 3 meals free with free shipping. Some of them charge $45 to other companies for shipping. Free shipping by going to blueapron.com/Ru. Blueapron.com/RU. A better way to cook. It's Blue Apron.
We have our special guest with us, Aubrey Plaza.
Yay!
Now, you guys know her from Parks and Recreation, but I love her from Scott Pilgrim Saves the World.
Ooh.
That's a fun movie.
Thank you. Thanks for seeing it.
I think that Michael Cera, and this is the weird part of me.
Oh, no, I'm with you.
I think he's sexy.
He's super sexy.
What is it?
Michael, I dated him for a long time.
You did?
Yes.
For what's a long time to someone your age?
A year and a half.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that is a long time.
We drove across the country after we shot that movie and almost got married in Vegas.
You are kidding me.
Yeah.
Now, so because you really get to know a person when you drive across country with them.
Oh, yeah.
You drove from where to where?
From Toronto, Chicago to LA.
Really? And so did you know each other before you filmed that movie?
No.
You met in Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
And you fell in love on the set.
Mm-hmm.
Now, okay, so how does it, now when you're looking back, it's several years ago, do you think it was that thing that happens to people who are enclosed in a small situation
like
where
animals in captivity?
Yeah, yes.
Kind of like that.
Everyone just wants to fuck each other.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Is that what it was in hindsight? A year and a half is nothing to turn your nose up at.
No. He's a very special. I mean, we love each other. We're still really good friends, and he's just a weird little freak.
Yes.
I mean, we speak the same language. So
he's brilliant.
So yeah, he is. He's one of the funniest people I know.
Did you see him on Broadway in that play?
I did.
What was the play?
This Is Our Youth.
This Is Our Youth.
Yeah, he was amazing in that.
Yeah. Do you do theater also?
I'm about to, actually. In like 2 weeks, I'm going to go to New York and do my first ever reading of a play that could then maybe go to Broadway. But I really want to do Broadway.
A straight play drama?
It's a drama, yeah.
Can you say what it is?
Yeah, it's just a little, it's a original, very small play that is happening downtown called A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to Sloan Kettering. It's
Cancer Research Center
drama.
Yeah.
Is it a dramedy?
It's a dramedy. Yeah. It's funny, but it's about a daughter and her mother who's dying of breast cancer. But it's hilarious.
It sounds like a laugh riot.
Yeah.
And now, is there nudity?
I don't know, actually.
Yeah.
There's like one part where I take my shirt off when I'm like with the guy and stuff, but I don't know. I mean, it's a reading, but I'll do whatever.
What's the venue that the reading's at?
The MCC. It's very small.
The MCC. I should know where that is.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, wait a minute. No, is that where what's the Michael Urie thing with Barbra Streisand in the basement? In the cellar. What's it called?
By Your Cellar.
By Your Cellar.
Yeah.
I think it's right there at 7th Avenue. And like,
oh yeah, you're right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
What is that street right there? Wait a minute. It's not. Oh shoot, George.
30 something?
No. It's downtown. It's down at 7th Avenue South.
Yeah.
Below Bleecker.
Oh, it's all the way down there.
Yeah.
No.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So now, but you're from Delaware.
Yeah, that's right. Delaware.
You don't have a Delaware accent.
Delaware. I don't, but I don't know what that would be.
It's kind of
Philadelphia.
Philly. Yeah.
My mom does. My family does, but I don't know why.
Yeah, and the acting, because your parents aren't theater people; they're more academics and financial people.
How did you know that? Yeah, my mom is a lawyer and my dad is a stockbroker.
Did they want you to be a business person?
No, they were really supportive. I was doing community theater since I was really young, and they were always really supportive. So
where'd you go to college?
Lucky. NYU.
Oh, so you went right to Tisch, and they were like, "All right, she's off and running."
Yeah, I went right to New York. Yeah, I knew I wanted to do theater and comedy and stuff like that, so I just got out of there.
Yeah, out of Delaware. Where in Delaware? Newark?
Wilmington.
There's other cities.
No, Newark.
Yes, that's the only city everybody knows from Delaware.
Yeah, well,
we all say Dover or Newark.
Yeah.
Newark.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Teen pregnancy capital of the
Is
country. I'm pretty
it?
sure. Yeah.
Do
Highest
they have
heroin rate too.
Oh
wow.
wow!
Pretty sure.
Do they have any MTV teen moms that come out of Delaware?
I don't know. Probably.
Probably.
Yeah, probably.
I've been there several times because PJ's from there and
Joelle's
Joelle is from there.
From Newark?
They're from Newark, yes.
Oh.
And I've been down there several times.
Have you?
Yeah. Not a lot to do.
Amtrak?
There's the beach.
Oh yeah.
You know,
beaches are great.
The beaches are great.
Beaches, chicken farms.
So if one was to go to Delaware, where would you say you must? I only know Delaware Water Gap, and that's
what
in
is
New
that?
Jersey. The Delaware Water Gap, or crossing the Delaware, it's like in New Hope, Pennsylvania, where George Washington came across in the boat with his leg up and his arm.
Yeah.
That one's right there.
Oh, didn't he cross the Potomac or something?
Whatever.
Yeah. So what do you do in Delaware? What would you tell us?
Yeah. What do you do in Delaware?
Delaware is a very weird kind of witchy place. I mostly just like drove around, played in the woods, got into trouble, went to the beach. There's really great like party beaches. A lot of people go down there because it's there's no sales tax.
Oh,
right.
So, you cross the border and you load up your car with alcohol and whatever you want.
Right.
Is there any food that Delaware is known for? Like, oh, you got to try the poutine.
No.
What is poutine?
No.
It's disco fries, but in Canada.
Oh.
It's called poutine.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. The only thing that happens in Delaware food-wise is this thing called scrapple, which is a thing that is maybe a Jersey thing too.
Yeah.
Right?
Huh.
Yeah.
Isn't it like eggs and bacon and ham?
No, it's like just like the grossest parts of an animal. Just like, I mean, it's a very interesting taste. I love it.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because Theron, who was in here a second ago, was going to kill a fly, but you were very moved by the murder of the fly, which, by the way, is still flying around in here. He didn't kill it, but are you?
I'm not sure she's moved because she's eating scrapple.
Yeah, that's why I asked the question because I'm wondering: is she a Buddhist or is she a scrapple lover?
No, I'm fine with. No, I'll kill anything.
Yeah.
You know, I just will.
Yeah, but
gonna
explain
lie.
why you were moved by the killing of.
I think it was just the device he was using. It was just a really
it was
barbaric.
It was a just really full on. And
Well,
I would have just squished it with my own two
which
hands,
I would have usually
like
done.
a
I've never seen that
cave
device.
woman.
Thank you, Mr. Miyagi.
Yeah.
I've never seen that device, but what it looked like was an electric tennis racket or
That's
a
what it is.
racquetball.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's an electrified tennis racket, and when the fly hits it, it fucking buzzes it to
It
death.
Frises it.
and frises
It
it.
did look like a futuristic torture device.
It
Oh.
electrocutes it.
Yeah, it kind of turned me on just a little bit.
Really?
bit.
Yes. No,
Yes.
because what's it called? Is there
It's
a
called
website?
An electric tennis racket.
Electric,
Really?
Electric murder fly.
Yes.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Flydeath.com.
Yeah, go right now. Get one for yourself. Kill everything.
And don't stop yet.
fucking electrocute
called
them
now.
all.
Call now and you get one for free.
Well, I'm like that. I am the fly killer. A lot of people don't know that about me, but I can always kill a fly.
Really? What is it?
With your mind?
With my mind, but also
Chopsticks?
with anything. A newspaper, a shoe. I know how to do it.
So
Like
you have good reflexes.
I'm good
Do
reflexes.
you think it's because you grew up in the South?
No, I think it's because I just don't like flies. So I've learned how to take care of them. I've seen during Judge Judy's show her say, stop everything, get a fly swatter out and kill a fly and say, okay, well, you were saying
They
what?
don't edit it out
No. It's part of her personality.
to kill things?
No, to be,
Take care of business.
Take care of business. Are you a Judge Judy
Oh,
fan?
hell yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
When I'd say Judge Judy to you, Aubrey Plaza, do you have one case in particular that comes to mind? The first one that comes to mind for me is the earthquake one. Did you see the one where an earthquake happens while they're taping, and Judge Judy gets up? She doesn't say anything.
yeah.
Just walks out.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yes.
Well, I didn't
Take
see
care
it.
of business.
I didn't see it when it was happening, but I saw it
Right.
online. or
When it went
whatever. But
viral.
Yeah. She kept her cool.
She
Just
kept her
got
cool.
Her ass out of there.
What is it you love about Judge Judy? And do you remember
She's
another episode?
No, I don't know. I don't know. I just think she's the fucking coolest. And
Yeah.
I just want to listen to her all day.
Me too.
She's just so smart and she's always right. And
Yes.
she's just fucking cool.
Yeah, but imagine growing up with that as your mother.
I don't think she's like that
You don't?
as
No,
a
I
person.
think, yeah,
You think
I
she
don't
separates
so
it?
either.
Absolutely, because the thing is, once you get to small claims court, you have exercised all of your options for cordial
Pleasantries.
pleasantries. It's like, and she knows if you've made it there, then you need to be told what is hood. What's good, Judge Judy?
good, Judge
What's
Judy?
good, Judge
What's
Judy?
good?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And she'll tell you what's good. Now, you're a comedian, Aubrey Plaza.
Sometimes.
Yes, you are. And is there a female actress that you pattern your career after that you want to emulate? A lot of people say Madeline Kahn. Do you know who that is?
Genius.
Yes, but I'm not too familiar.
Well, no,
I
she's
know
in-
who Madeline Kahn
No,
is,
you're very young.
Well before your
but
time.
yeah,
Yeah,
I'm not too familiar now.
She's in the movie Young Frankenstein.
And History of the World.
And
part.
yes, the Mel Brooks movies and the Peter Bogdanovich movies. She's also in Young Frankenstein, Blazing Saddles, and What's Up, Doc, which is brilliant. She's just, you've got Howard Bannister's box. That's her. Who did you pattern your
I don't
career
know.
after?
I didn't really pattern. I mean, Janine Garofalo was one of the first people I ever saw live do stand up when I was a teenager, I was really obsessed with all the SNL ladies. You know, Gilda Radner and
Jane Curtin.
and Jane Curtin and Anna Gasteyer and Molly Shannon, and all those women were really important to me when I was growing up. But I don't know if I patterned myself. Stand up wise, I really liked Stephen Wright. Actually, there were men.
Oh, he was my
there were
favorite.
men that I liked too, not just women, but and then I really loved like Lily Tomlin. Like I saw her one woman show on Broadway in New York. My mom took me up there to see that when I was really young, and that was kind of a big deal for me too.
Was it Signs of
Signs of Intelligent Life and Elaine Stritch and all the old school women I really, really liked. That was kind of what I liked. But I don't know if I patterned myself off of anything. Yeah. But I don't know.
Well, no, you don't have to. It's interesting carving out a career in show business as so many media platforms evolve. It's interesting.
Yeah.
How do you do that? I've been doing it for a long time. I can't imagine what it's like for someone your age.
Yeah, I don't know. I was a weird kid. I was really, really obsessed with oh, you know who was really really huge for me is Rosie O'Donnell. I read her
Really?
book when I was 6th grade going to 7th grade. I read her autobiography Rosie, and that really changed my thinking about like how to get out of Delaware and really make it happen, because I just never thought I could do that. And
What
then,
was it about that book that made you think I can do this?
I don't know. I just related to her in a lot of ways. And she kind of talks in that book about how, like, if you have a net, you will fall into it.
Mhm.
And there was something that kind of stuck with me about that, you know, like kind of just being delusional almost, and just believing that it would happen, and not having a backup plan or something. So like, I just thought if she could do it, then I could do it. And that was always really inspiring for me. And then I was also weirdly obsessed with Judy Garland my entire
Really?
life too, like really obsessed.
Wow.
In middle school and stuff. And she's actually was really funny too, but she's not obviously known for like being a comedian. But,
I think
she was really funny too.
very
I thought,
funny. I
in
think the
live
old timers,
performances.
like myself, we've seen that funny side of her. It's sort of this wry sense of humor,
Yeah.
almost a sort of sardonic, weird sense of humor,
Yeah.
because she had seen it all.
Yeah, like a wicked kind of sense of humor, but also so vulnerable, kind of.
And so
at the same
vulnerable.
time.
Have you
Yeah.
seen all of her movies?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, in the dressing room, I play something all the time on repeat and play music while I'm getting my hair and makeup done. And last week I was playing A Star Is Born throughout it. And at one point,
That's my favorite movie.
it's my favorite.
Yeah.
At one point, my eye catches the scene where she's got the painted on freckles. And of course, I start crying because I know what she's doing in that scene, which is, she should have won the Oscar
I
for
agree.
that.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah.
What
Because
the fuck?
Hollywood kids.
Yeah.
Awards. What are you gonna? What
I
are you
know.
gonna do?
Fuck awards.
You
They
know,
don't
it's
matter.
like it's like
But still, it would have been nice.
it would have been nice,
Yeah.
but in our hearts, we knew that she won. Now, I do
Yeah.
want to mention, first of all, that the Rosie book is probably available on Audible.com, which has so many varieties of audio books to choose from. If you don't want to read it, you can listen to it on Audible.
We love that.
We
and
love
we
them.
love them.
Yes, we do. Now, we're going to go to a break in just a minute, but before we do, what is your dream role, Aubrey Plaza? Now, I'm sure you've thought about this. You said you loved the SNL women, you loved Judy Garland and Rosie O'Donnell. Is there a remake? If we were pitching a remake to some huge studio for you to redo it, and I'll come up with one too.
Okay.
What would that
I
film
mean,
be?
so many things, but what comes to mind most recently is Catwoman.
Really?
Yeah, the movie with Halle Berry and
Berry.
Sharon Stone.
So scandalous. Dun dun dun
Yeah,
dun
yeah.
dun.
Why do we
dun,
choose
dun.
that
Because
one?
I want to remake that movie shot for shot and like just really go for it and make like a fucking crazy like movie where I turn into a fucking cat. That movie's insane. Have
It's
you
insane.
ever seen it?
It's
Yeah.
insane. Who would play the Sharon Stone role?
I don't know. Maybe fuck, I don't know.
Let's see. Who would play the Sharon? Who has taken the and it wouldn't be Charlize Theron. It would be who has taken the it'd be Margot Robbie.
Margot Robbie.
Yeah, she would do
but
it.
It needs to be someone that's like a little like maybe she's drunk in every scene, like a little more like
Maybe
someone that's like a little more like rough around the edges. or
You know what?
something.
Tan Mom.
Like
Tan Mom.
Patricia Krenzel,
Yeah.
whatever her name
Tan
is.
Mom would play
okay.
the other. Who would direct? Would be Tim Burton? Would it be?
Ooh, I would love to be in a Tim Burton movie.
Yes.
That would be a dream come true.
Tim Burton does Catwoman.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yes.
That's
Tim
pretty
Burton does
hot,
It would
Catwoman.
actually be amazing.
It would be
Yeah.
amazing.
And twisted.
It would be so cool. And I really would like to do something really physical.
Yeah.
Because I haven't gotten to do that really.
Yeah.
You know, like wear a fucking crazy outfit and like slither around and like, you know, just lose my mind.
I see your Catwoman, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna go on a limb and say that if I were gonna cast you in a remake of something,
Mm-hmm.
it would totally be. Are you ready for this?
Yes.
Beverly Hills Cop. I'm serious.
Okay.
You are a cop from Chicago, and you are transferred to the Beverly Hills Police Department. And you're paired with the Nick Nolte. The Nick Nolte role would go to Rosie O'Donnell.
Okay.
And the two of you, she's this rough cop, and you're this like, oh my God, this is Beverly Hills. this is my Aubrey
really good.
Plaza.
Yeah.
I hate it here.
I want to get some dirt. Not dirt. I want to ask you questions about other projects that you've done after this break right here. We've got Aubrey Plaza with us. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be back for more.
Okay.
Hey, how is it?
My name is Michelle. I know I don't look like a Michelle, but I am a Michelle.
Hey, Michelle, let's talk about Squarespace.
Okay, let's do it.
Squarespace is this fabulous, fabulous company that allows you to create your own website at such an easy, relaxed storyline.
Yeah, well, that's the good thing about it is so many people, and we've talked about this for a million times because we love our Squarespace. And the thing is, I myself hired somebody who literally, bled me dry.
You're kidding.
I'm not kidding. So every time I said, I want to add a picture, he was like, okay, that's $150.
Oh, no.
Because he was in charge. You don't have to deal any of
We
that.
don't do that with Squarespace.
Ain't none of that, John.
They ain't studying that. None of that.
Uh-uh.
Listen, you can get a free trial with no credit card required by just going to squarespace.com. And when you're blown away and ready to confirm a plan, use the offer code RU to get 10% off.
We love 10% off, honey.
I love 10% off. Now, we get a lot of letters from people who have created their own websites. They send these letters to RuPaulPodcast@gmail.com. Now, Michelle, you have a letter over there?
I do. This one is from Luigi. My name is Luigi Lamb. I'm a photographer from Costa Rica. First, I just want to tell you how much you inspired me with your podcast and drag race as well. It makes my life a little bit better. Honey, Luigi, I agree. It's such a good show. Anyway, it took me 2 years to find a nice platform to create my website. Thanks to Untucked in your podcast, I found Squarespace was the best option. Didn't know anything about web development, but the site, it's so easy to use that it took me less than a month to create it. So today is the big day. From now on, Luigi Lamb, that's Luigi, Lam.com. It's online. It would be such a huge honor for you to check it out. Thank you so much for taking the time to read this email. Luigi, good luck to you, darling. We love you.
I love it. And it's so easy. He's so right about that.
Yes.
Just go to squarespace.com and the offer code is RU and you'll be getting yourself into some beautiful websites. All right. All right. Thanks, Luigi.
Thanks, Squarespace.
Now, I loved Parks and Recreation.
Thank you.
I love that show. Now, how long did you do that show?
7 seasons, the whole time.
Awesome.
Yeah, I was in every one.
And tell me tell me about the whole experience.
Sidebar: the outtakes are hilarious.
Oh yeah.
What makes them hilarious?
They're just so funny because it seems like, and I don't know if those shows are soft scripted. I don't know if they're they're scripted, but they let you do what you want. But there's so much insanity and ad-libbing and craziness that seems like it's going on that the outtakes are along those lines and things that have gone wrong with Chris Pratt and physical stuff and moments that are just insane.
The thing that when we shot the show, we would always, Amy Poehler kind of implemented this rule where we would do the script and no matter if it was we got it or not, we would always do a fun run.
Yeah.
She called it a fun run where the last take we would just really just fuck around and try to make each other laugh. And like a lot of times those got onto the show because they were just kind of spontaneous and weird. But that's probably most of the outtakes are those fun runs that we did where we're just trying to fuck with each other.
So funny.
But yeah.
How are you not able to how do you not break when something happens and you is there a trick to not breaking in a scene?
Well, my face is, people think I'm like angry all the time because the muscles in my face like droop.
You have a resting bitch face?
I do, yeah. So it takes more energy for me to like smile and laugh. It's just like a physical condition I was born with.
Yes.
So it's easier for me to not break. It's just genetic. But I don't know. I just have like a very good poker face, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And were you able to make other people crack up?
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, I would break though. I would break all the time. Nick Offerman would always make me break. He would always, and him and Pratt would always do shit. They were always like farting.
It was like
in
like
my
frat
face,
boys, right?
Yeah. They were. It was. Yeah. Amy and I would get so pissed at them because they would just like start doing a fart competition and like just It was like a weird little fucked up family. It was
Yes,
fun.
you know, that I wouldn't enjoy that part of the
Farting?
the fraternity.
I don't. You wouldn't enjoy.
No,
no.
no.
Amy and I did not like that. That was them like teasing us, like
Right.
brother sister.
I wonder what it is about guys and the farting. Like I don't enjoy that.
Me neither. I don't think it's funny at all.
Never found it funny.
Me neither.
It makes a man laugh at any given time.
I know, little boys too.
Yeah.
Like the minute they fart, they laugh. There's no one tells them it's funny. There's something inside of their brains where they think it's funny.
Yeah.
Well, I love like farting as a device in a scene, in a joke, in a TV show, but not real farting where you actually have to smell.
I know.
it.
Who wants to do that?
I don't want to do that. I love it. The sound of farts. Farts are funny. You know, I mean, you know, because every Disney
Michelle
show
doesn't agree with you.
No, I mean, there's a time and a place for a fart joke.
Yeah.
Farting can be funny, the very sound of it.
Yeah, and we just talked about Blazing Saddles. You know, I was 13 when I saw that movie, the Mel Brooks classic. I was 13. My friend down the street, Alvin Norman, my sister took us to see it because I think it was R-rated. I'm pretty sure it was R-rated.
Oh, yeah.
Took us to see the movie. We were 13. Literally rolling in the aisles. You know the term, I was rolling in the aisle. We had them rolling in the Alvin and I were literally rolling holding our stomachs because there's a scene where Mongo has beans sitting around a campfire, and then there's all of this farting stuff. We thought it was the funniest thing on earth. I don't want to smell it, but I do think
but
it's...
watching
it
it,
is.
well, it's timing, you know.
Yes.
It can be funny.
Yes.
It can be. It's just when it really happens or...
Well, yeah, when someone's
sit
doing
on
it in
you.
your face, you're like, no,
Exactly.
stop. Get the fuck away
You know,
from
you
me.
dated Michael Cera.
Cena?
Michael Cena?
John Cena.
John Cena.
No, Michael Cera.
Yeah,
Michael
Cera.
Cera,
Yes.
John Cena.
I've always got that mixed up. And when you're with someone for how long before dating them before you're able to fart in front of them?
I'm not a farter relationship or
Right.
farter.
No Dutch ovens.
I don't do that.
I'm
I
not a
keep it
Dutch oven. I have a loving
I keep
oven.
it very French. I live with someone right now and we have separate bathrooms.
That's it's
Well, that's the key to happiness.
that's the key to a great relationship.
I think it is.
Yeah.
I just like to keep it kind of classy, you know. at
Keep it
home.
cute, keep it classy.
And,
Yeah.
And I know there will be a day that
Something's going to slip.
Yeah, you'll give
someone
birth
will
and that
look-
changes everything.
And then I'll give birth and shit my pants. Or
Yes.
something,
Exactly.
And that
Yeah.
I've heard that will happen, and I'll just deal with it when it happens.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm not gonna just do it now. I'm just not.
You're
Right.
a classy Delaware broad.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I just
yeah.
you know.
Yeah, you're one step away from a DuPont.
Thank you.
Yeah. So Michelle, in your
what?
you've
Best
been
thing
married
ever.
for 17 years.
18 years.
18 years. Do you and your husband share the air that you breathe?
I feel really crass by admitting that I literally do not care.
You don't care.
I will blow ass in
Really?
front of my husband.
Yeah.
Poop with the door open.
Uh-huh. Well, now that's a step beyond.
But 18 years. That's so. When did that start?
Yeah, I'm the
Like,
type
did
of...
it
Listen, I'm
start-
from New Jersey, honey.
Right.
Okay.
I'm the type of chick that right away I was like, if I can't pee in front of you and you
Right.
can't sit on the toilet
Yeah.
and I'm on the toilet and you can't sit on the bathtub and talk to me when I'm pooping,
Yeah.
then I
But
can't.
did you grow up like that? Did your family?
No, you know
all-
what it is, Aubrey? For me, not at all. My parents were not very open. They liked their privacy.
So it wasn't a scat family.
No, it was not a scat family, not a
Right.
scatological family.
Yeah.
But for me, I always thought, and I'm still this way, and Ruth says sometimes it's a little fault of mine. I live everything completely out in the open. I have no skeletons in my closet. And I did it on purpose. Nothing can ever be held against me because I'll admit to everything I've ever done. So with that said, I thought right away, early age, if I'm going to have an honest relationship with you, I want you to know everything about me. So anytime I brought a man home, which is quite a bit, first thing I did would take my makeup off right away. Right away. And if they stay, that's hurdle number one.
And hurdle number 2 is a Cleveland steamer.
Correct. And if they can handle a hot dump on their chest, well then, eternity, here we come.
You know what? I'm gonna go home tonight and shit on my boyfriend.
Yay! You learned something.
Fuck it, I'm doing it.
Oh my God, he's gonna love me. You're welcome. You're welcome.
You know, it's funny. Like I think about maybe 4 months into meeting George, he asked me if he could floss my teeth.
What?
Yeah, he did. I didn't let him.
Why would he want to floss
I
your?
don't
Is
know.
it a thing of his?
No, I don't know. He's never asked me since, but he asked me if he could floss my teeth, and I thought,
Is that code for something?
no. Maybe it is. Maybe it's something
maybe-
I didn't catch.
Maybe you missed out.
Is it something about the extraction
I
process?
don't.
Because there are people that are really into like popping pimples.
Oh, I love it.
and
Yes.
that kind of stuff. My boyfriend is really into that, and always, if he like sees something on my face, he will say like, "Oh, can I like take care of that?" Because he likes to see the
Really?
stuff come out, and
Keep him.
I want to kill myself whenever
No,
he
no.
says that to
Keep
me.
him
I
around.
literally I don't know what to do. I'm
Let him pop
I'm
it.
horrified by it.
No,
Have you let him do it?
I did let him do it.
You did.
I let him do it, but it's so horrifying to me. I don't understand it.
Why, honey?
Because he's like seen those videos, the popping videos.
Yeah, there's a stop.
where there's a
Oh,
thing,
yeah,
and then it goes on the
is that a
ceiling.
fetish thing?
And that's a thing.
That's a fetish thing?
That's a thing that people.
Yeah.
I don't understand it.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
People go on there with the boils. The
Oh no!
sauce.
La, la, la,
Okay,
la,
okay,
la, la,
okay.
la.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sorry, I'm sorry.
Wow, it's interesting, but I've heard of that.
Yeah.
I've known people who said, "Oh, can I pop that zit for
I love
you?"
popping
Yeah,
zits.
I
You
don't.
do?
Yeah, I won't pop a boil, but I learned my lesson the hard way when my oldest daughter had a black. I thought it was a blackhead, and I kept going at it. Got infected. Brought her into the dermatologist. He goes, "Don't ever touch your child's face. It was a
Yeah.
cyst."
Oh dear.
So I was like, "Why won't it come out?" And I was going to town on it.
Right.
Just digging into her face.
Yes,
Yeah.
but it would have been so rewarding if that thing came out. He literally had to slice it open to get it out.
Right.
So it never would have come out. So moral of the story, you're not supposed to pop your zits.
Right.
But it's so rewarding. I don't know why. It's like when you have acrylic nails and your nails grow underneath, and I like to pluck it out with the
Right.
there's something about that. I don't know what it is.
Extraction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Getting it out.
Like when you get the hard zit, like a blackhead, and it goes, ding, it torpedoes out like
Oh
a
dear.
bullet.
Okay, now you're going too far.
No, I love that.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't
It's
like
but what we're saying is being a human is very gross.
Yeah, we're just gross animals.
We
just
are
rolling around
gross
in our
animals. Now,
Speak for yourself.
I want to hear a little bit more about Michael Cera. Why do you think
When'd you first fall in love with him on Arrested
on
Development?
Arrested Development? Something about the energy, his rhythm, and the fact that someone that young is so smart, because he's doing that thing on purpose. He read the script, he knows what he's doing, and you think, how is he doing that so well?
so good.
He's a genius. He really is.
Where's he
genius.
from?
He's from Canada. He's Canadian. He's from Brampton, and he's just a very special genius little soul.
Is he like a delicate flower like you'd think he'd be?
He is, but he's not. He doesn't take shit from anyone either. He's like he's not afraid of anything either. But he's crazy. Like he can any instrument. If you just gave him an instrument that he'd never seen before, he'd figure out how to play it and play a song that you
Oh,
would
like actual
recognize
genius.
in like in an hour. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
And so when you got cast to do this movie, Scott Pilgrim, which he's the star of, and then how did you guys connect? Did you make a movie? You said, I want some of that right
some
there.
Cera
You know what I'm
salad.
saying? I'm going to just come over here and say, hey, what's your name?
No, we were just friends. You
Yeah.
know, he wasn't someone that I ever like saw and I was like, "Ooh, get me some of that Michael Cera inside of me."
I
Even though
some
I
Cera
do
sauce.
think he is so cute.
On the side.
I
That's
wasn't-
right.
that-
Everyone
it wasn't
loves
like
Sarah
that.
Lee.
It was like we just, just I don't know. We just connected, and then after it just happened.
Now,
Just happened. I don't know.
your birthday is June something?
26.
June
you're a
26th. That makes you a
Cancer.
Cancer.
Yeah.
What is he?
He is a Gemini.
He's a Gemini.
Oh, so close together, you guys
very
were.
close. Yeah, his birthday is close to mine.
And the guy you're dating now, it's a guy, right?
the guys that I'm dating now.
The guys you're dating
is
now.
Cancer, and his birthday is 3 days after mine.
Oh, what's that like? Cancer
Um,
men are crabby.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's good. We've been together for a long time.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, marriage
he's-
soon?
Is he in show business?
He's a director. He's a writer director. He wrote that movie I Heart Huckabees.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
great
David
movie.
Russell a long time ago.
Yeah.
And he directed his first feature 2 years ago that I starred in called Life After Beth, and he
Right.
just made a new movie this year, and he's a director now, but he's like a writer director, Jewish guy from Miami.
Oh, I love
Wow,
it.
That's a good
Yeah.
one.
I love it.
Yeah.
But like working with someone, being directed by someone that you go home with at night, that must be really difficult.
It was fun, actually. I was really nervous about it. I didn't know how it would go down, but it was kind of a turn on to like be directed to like see your guy just like running a set and I was like more nervous about having to like make out with someone in front of him and have him like direct sex scenes and stuff.
Ooh.
You know, like that kind of stuff
that's
I
awkward.
thought may be weird, but it was actually kind of fun.
You
Yeah.
guys are meant to be together because my
Right.
husband, I did an independent film. I was 5 months pregnant, but my husband was the assistant director and he'd had to come over and tell me, I'd go, don't fucking tell me what to do.
Oh.
And it was bad. It was bad.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't have that control with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it made things worse, I thought. And he
Yeah.
said, I will never, ever work with you again.
Oh,
And I said, good.
Yeah.
That's better.
It's
Right.
a delicate balance. Like
Yeah.
there were, it wasn't perfect. Like there were moments where like we had to learn from each other and I had to go like, you're treating me like your girlfriend right now. Like you gotta treat me
Oh.
like everybody else.
Yeah,
you
it's
know? Like I'm
difficult.
an actress right now. Treat me like, you know, fucking everyone else.
Yeah.
Like, but that was just, you know, you have to like figure that out. But yeah, it was fun.
What was your big break?
Funny People
Right.
with Judd Apatow. I had not done anything before that, and that was like a very big movie. And and then I had a really kind of crazy week. I came out and I got that, Scott Pilgrim and Parks and Recreation all in 1 week.
Wait a minute. Hold
What?
up. Back
And
up.
I was living in Queens, and I just got fired from a waitressing job that I was like desperately trying to get back because I had no money. And in 1 week, I got all 3 of those things.
Wow. Okay. So you're in New York. You have an
Yeah.
agent.
I did not have an agent.
So how'd you get those gigs?
Because what happened was
What happened?
What
what had
happened?
happened was I was okay, so I was in like I was doing the Upright Citizens Brigade Theater. I was training there at the Comedy Theater and doing shows and improv shows and sketch shows and stuff. And then Bill Hader's wife, Maggie Carey, was in a class with me and she did a web series that she cast me in. And there were a bunch of SNL people in the web series and I played a very small part, but an agent saw me on that web series and agreed to have coffee with me, and I just had a relationship with her, but it wasn't like she was representing me or anything. And then a couple weeks or months later, Judd Apatow was doing a very wide casting search for his movie. He wanted to cast an unknown stand-up comedian, and so I found out through her because she was just like taking a risk on me, saying like, put yourself on tape, we'll see what happens. So I did, and they liked the tape, but I wasn't a stand-up comedian, so they were like, he likes your tape, but they've got to cast a stand-up because they're doing shows and they're not going to write jokes for this character. You have to like be a stand-up. So I started doing stand-up in Queens and in New York and taping myself and then sending those tapes. And then after a couple times, he flew me out to LA to do like a chemistry read.
Wow.
And so while I was doing that, the chemistry read, I was like in LA for the first time ever for a week. And this agent, Diane McGonigal, was like, well, since you're doing this, I'll send you on a couple meetings just while you're here to see what happens. But I didn't know what was going on or what I was doing. I was literally like, I had no idea what was going on. But I just like stumbled into all of those things. And
Luck.
I was
And then talent backed
and
it
then
up.
I just got them all of them. And it was like I was joking that week, going like, well, I'm gonna get all 3 of these and then my life will change, and ha ha ha, and then that actually happened.
Wow, that is amazing. And it's because you're blessed, because you just got it like that.
Yep.
And you know what? Knock wood, it continues like that. I've enjoyed you so much, and I think you're so talented and so funny. Thank you for
Thanks.
being on the show,
Thank
Aubrey
you for
Plaza.
having me. This was a dream come true.
You're awesome.
I watched your show in New York with all of my friends and like a big bar full of people, and I'm just so excited that I'm a part of it now. So,
Well, I'm so happy you're a part of it, and continued success to you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Aubrey Plaza.
Aubrey
you.
Plaza.
Aubrey Plaza.
All right, for everybody out there, thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, bye.
Goodbye.
Can I get an amen? Can I get an amen? If you can't love yourself, how in the hell you gonna love somebody else? Can I get an amen?
And don't forget to subscribe on iTunes.
If you can't love yourself, how in the hell you gonna love somebody else? Amen.